Hello, everybody. Welcome to another ZoukCast episode. And, and like every week, we have my friend Nymph here, but today he's a little bit cold. How you feeling, Nymph?
Hey, I'm okay. Feeling a bit ill, sick. I slept a couple of hours, so I hope
Just a couple of
I will
hours.
survive this episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this episode, we have a really big name on ZoukCast, and he's Claudio Gomes. He was the guy responsible of the whole success of Zouk in Holland on the early years. How you doing, Claudio?
Well, I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Fine, fine. We're eager to talk with you.
Oh, that's
So,
nice. That's nice.
so Claudio, you're back in Brazil, right?
Yes, since wow, I don't know, 2006, I believe, quite long ago already.
Yeah. So that's why in Europe, look, most of people they lost the trail of you. They didn't know anymore about you. So how's been life since you left Holland?
Well, I'm really happy to be back home. I had a really great time in Holland. I think I have done a lot there, but I really feel really good to be back home. Here in Brazil, I really feel like I'm home,
Yeah.
even though I like Holland very much.
So how long did you stay in Holland? Since which year you came to Holland, and how long did you stay there?
I did arrive in Holland 5 of March of 1990, and
1990. Nice.
yes, and I stayed there about 18 years,
Okay, that's a long time.
very long time. But I still don't speak Dutch.
Now it is.
I learned how to speak Spanish and English in
But not
Holland,
Dutch.
but I didn't know how to speak Dutch. Wow, I can speak a little bit, but that's very little bit.
So we were just talking before the show about the Dutch weather because Nymph is having a cold now, and you are with a T-shirt without sleeves. So the weather is quite
I
nice
have the
in Brazil.
ventilator. I have the ventilator right here because it's too warm. The wind is like, oh, God.
Okay, Claudio. So when did you start to work with Zouk in Holland?
Well, as I think you already know, I started teaching Holland, samba, lambada, especially. Lambada was still in the top, but
Yeah.
dying, and salsa was going up. And then through the lambada, I met salsa, and I became a salsa dancer and teacher just for very many years. And actually, I was very well known in Holland, not as a Zouk teacher, but a salsa dance teacher. And
Okay.
because of the salsa, and through the salsa, I could start promote Zouk, you know. And then Zouk came after when I went to Congress in Rio de Janeiro, dance Congress, and I saw Zouk for the first time, and I fell in love. I said, man, I want to dance this, and I'm going to take this to Holland. This was 97.
Okay.
But then I was already dance teacher for about 7 years.
So
And
so
it's
who did you
quite well
learn
known.
from the Zouk side of the dance? You did
The first
you
who made me felt in love for Zouk when I saw Adili and Renata dancing.
okay?
They were just the real Zouk at this time. Uh, they used to dance more authentic Zouk.
Yeah.
Very sensual, using the real Zouk songs, Zouk music, French music, and the whole package made me fall in love. And I was amazed. Such beautiful dance, such beautiful music, and the combination made me feel very attractive. And then I fell in love for the first time. And the first classes I had was from Agilio in the very short workshops.
Hmm.
At the same congress, I met Luis. Um,
Luis L'Oreal?
no,
No.
Wait. Oh, I forgot now. Such a long time ago.
Okay.
Um, I forgot. But and then I had one, two private lessons with Luis also.
Okay.
After that, but that's what I had. It was very small material. And as soon as I came back to Holland, I had a dance team with the small, oh, the little material I had. I told them, and I
Mhm.
made a choreography. And right away, I started promoting Zouk in Holland. Luis Carlos. I mean,
So when you started promoted Zouk in
it's nice.
Holland, you have little material, as you said, but then
Yes, not much.
you continued learning from Adilio in any way, or you started to develop your own way.
Well, I have to survive, because at this time I told myself if I would teach this to the Dutch people, they would not learn. It was pretty complicated. And then I started to create techniques that the Dutch people could understand me. And then I started develop techniques to teach them. And once a year, I used to go to Brazil to get some new material, and to Adilio especially because I like his style very much at that time especially. And then I also went to Porto Seguro to see how they were doing there. And then I was mix or choosing what I like most and then create techniques to teach those things in Holland. But my style um, came more from Rio de Janeiro style, especially from Magilho dance,
Okay,
especially from Magilho.
so you named your style Zouk Love,
Yeah,
really?
this came with after some years dancing, teaching, and then was not even myself came with this name. I think because he was using very much Zouk Love songs,
Okay.
I had a partner at this time. She is after a few years already, you know, because I started promote Zouk in Holland with Claudia and the team I had this time, Vandelay, Sandra, and other people. But after a few years, I started dance with Renata Nijland. I smell a very Dutch girl, small blonde girl, beautiful. We have quite some pictures in the internet. And then she came up with this name, Zouk Love, and I like it. So and
Yeah,
then the style became, we started call Zouk Love.
yeah, because Claudia and Vanderlei, they went more for the Lamba side of the style, and then you
Yeah,
start developing more this Zouk Love technique. But
yeah.
it was a big success. But how big were the scene back there?
Well, then was me, and I think what made Zouk grow the most was my passion for the dance. And I'm the type of guy who really in love with someone, I can really inspire and convince other people as well. And then I started because I was very well known in salsa scene, and a lot of the top teachers in the salsa scene in Holland were
Oh, we lost the connection for a while.
Yeah.
students. Because I also had so many salsa dancers in my school, I used these students to, I say, to seduce them to go to Zouk.
Okay.
And then the Zouk became something. And after me and Claudia separated, I
Mhm.
start Zouk Lovers, and then I start also create the the musicality techniques, all this kind of stuff. And because I used to work very well organized, I used to prepare my teachers, create didactics, all of them used to teach the same. And because I could organize well stuff, instructors,
Yeah.
teachers, assistants, I create a good organization. People like that and start ask also for that for other schools. And the biggest salsa schools in Holland, they start asking me to send the teachers because they knew I had good quality of teachers. I instruct them well. I had good techniques, I had the good didactics, how to teach people.
Yeah.
And then in this way, we went to basically whole Holland
Yeah.
with our own
Actually,
schools and other schools as well.
yeah. Actually, when I started dancing in 2005. Uh,
Okay.
Zouk Lovers were like the big name, like Zouk Lovers were the thing to be. You wanted to be like Zouk Lovers, this company that they did shows together. You had like nowadays he's a really big name, Pasti. He was with you, right?
Yeah, Pasti, Ray, now Dr. Kizomba is in Canada. He
Yeah.
also was from my team. Crystal, uh, a lot of good dancers they were there in my dance team. Shane, yeah, we had quite some good dancers there. And some of them became very well-known names in the dancing scene, and big names in the dancing scene, as you said.
Yeah. So Claudio, what do you think is the secret for your success? You said already that you were very organized, that you had a really good quality teaching, but dance-wise or technique-wise, what do you think was the key for Zouk Loves to be so successful that even at some moments it seemed like there were more Zouk dancers in Holland than salsa dancers?
Yeah. Well, two special things. I remember then when I was dancing the first congress from Dani Leticia in 2003 or 4.
Four, I think
I
it was
remember
four.
then, yeah, I remember when I was dancing there, because of the techniques of musicality, people were very impressed that we could dance and hit all those beats and use the music in a proper way when they didn't know how to do that, and because of the sensuality and the passion that we show in our dance. People like, damn, I want to learn this thing,
Yeah.
because we show the passion, and because of the power of the musicality, make the passion even stronger. And this really attracts people, because musicality and passion was something not really common when people was more focused in big movements and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you do think that being focused more on musicality and on the connection and on the passion, and not so
Yes,
much on big movements, was a key of your success?
yeah, I believe that's the best recipe that I still use until today. For example, my techniques of musicality is growing very much. And before you used to count on until 8, divide the beats, the timings, and take the breaks. But now you use much more than that. And I think the for me to show the passion of the dancing is quite impossible when I don't use the passion has on the music. For for example, one singer, for make him to make a song, it takes months studying and instruments and composition
Oh, yeah. Let's wait a while.
things to people like that. And I try to use all those kind of things because I think the passion has to be is on the music, and from the music I have to take out of for the dance. And I still do this very much. It's not easy, huh? To
Uh-huh.
teach this to beginners is not every teacher is there to teach those things. They only focus on movement, movement, movement. They are not there to teach musicality because it's difficult to teach. And they think they lose the people. But it's the other way around. You keep the people when you teach those things and they feel the passion of the dancing and they make them stay in the dancing scene, want to learn more.
So, Claudio, I heard some people complain about the level in Holland, about the level of the whole dance scene. Like the level is not evolving so much like in other countries. I don't know if NIMF has also the same feedback from people. So do you think that it has something to do with you leaving the scene, or it's more a natural thing happening because Zouk has been longer in Holland than in other countries in Europe? What do you think about that?
Well, I cannot say much about that. I myself, I have to confess that the last time I was in Holland, I was pretty disappointed to see the level of the Zouk there. But I cannot say, I think it should be too much to say that it's because I left. I don't think it's the reason why the Zouk went lower level, but I agree that the level went a bit lower there after a few years. I was very disappointed when I went back there. But what is big level, what is low level, what is right, what is true, is difficult to say something about that. Because when I see the Zouk scene, I see the performances on the YouTube, I feel very sad because uh, Zouk's not look like in Zouk anymore. You know, any contemporary dance, contemporary music, you can call it Zouk. You know, the music lost the beats, the characteristical, and and the dance lost completely the characteristic of Zouk. You know, for example, the salsa music, you have the basic instruments. You know, around these instruments, you make arrangements and all together make a sound that you recognize that salsa. You know,
Yeah.
the tango music is the same, and it's the same with the samba. It's the same with the zouk. But now, when I hear a zouk song, I don't hear anything make me sounds or hear something sounds like the same as zouk. If the music lost the characteristic, basic characteristic, of course the dance will lose also. You know, and it's something very. Everybody has their own way of seeing the change,
Hmm.
and I'm not the Mr. Right guy. I'm not the one who knows the truth,
Yeah.
but I feel the difference, and I lose the Zouk is getting lost and losing the characteristics of the beats of the music and also the way of dancing. And what's high quality? If someone takes some tapes from Circo du Soleil and make the most crazy things and make this high, or will someone dance very much on the beautifully, simply in the music is too simple, you
Yeah.
know? I don't know what is right, what's true then, you know?
Yeah, we're having this conversation over and over in different episodes with different people, and it's a difficult thing to you don't have any conclusion that you say that's the truth, like because many
Yeah, it's
people
difficult to
get
say.
attracted to souk because of the freedom and the different kinds of music that you're dancing, but many other people they are going away from souk because of the same reason. So you
Uh-huh.
are in this later group, like you would prefer the music to be more like it was before, right?
Well, I like the changes. I myself change very much. For example, but the change I look for is not like the showtime stuff. I look for a change, and I think Zouk is pure freedom. But when someone I choose, maybe someone can think, no, that's most easy, but it's not most easy. I choose for the most difficult actually. I like to go deeper of the translation of the not that the translation of the music, but to use the music in different ways and go deeper to the way I can use the music
Yeah.
and the techniques. For example, I can do. I don't know if you don't know the names, but I used to do balão apagado, with the lady here, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But I can still use that. Take the ladies of the hands, start to the right and go in front, or go to the right, go to the left. Instead of go to the right, I'll go to the left. and go to the back, to the front. I use my foot in combination in different sides of the music as my hands, so I can make much more complicated than
Yeah.
for other people. It's, I believe it's much more difficult. That's why they find easier to go for a next movement
Yeah.
than explore more, go deeper to the musicality, or change the way of doing some things without lose the characteristic way, you know.
Yeah. So
And
you are
what
more
I do
going.
is more difficult. What
You
I
are more
do
going.
is much more
Sorry.
difficult.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes,
What?
you're going more for the experimentation inside the same kind of music, but changing the technique and the different things that you do, rather than going to a whole different style of music because you feel like you cannot do the same thing over and over, right? So you prefer to
Yes.
experiment on the same kind of music.
I think for me it should be much more easy. Like when the last time I went to Holland, I see people like here also in Goiânia, they have a lot of influence from the outside. And actually, I'm one of the few, two, three dance schools here that still keep doing this style. But on the other hand, my school is the only one who has 5 groups only for Zouk. The other schools, to have Zouk, there they have to mix with Kizomba, with Bachata, to have 1 group or 2 groups. And I have 5 groups only with Zouk. And people are very in love and praised about that. But here, around it, people also get inspiration from abroad, from the outside. And what I see is people make large or big movements, but they're not really responsible with the musicality, with the if the, is, this is a nice feeling for the lady, if it, you know, they
Yeah.
miss a lot of things. But the same feeling I had when I went to Holland. People are doing all kind of things in different music, um, but they didn't feel responsible with the music, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't felt responsible with the feeling. It's more make some interesting movements
Hmm.
and more like I'm here, I'm doing something different, you know, and
So,
make me feel very sad. Lost
so
all the
do,
passion.
do you think that does that have something to do with the music, or maybe it's because they are lacking proper foundation, so they are going for the big moves without mastering the basic technique? What do you think is the thing to blame?
Well, one thing about dancing that I know, I did few years ago post graduation and pedagogy of dancing. I don't know how you say this in English. And I have seen experiment and seen a lot, you know, just to open my mind and grow my knowledge. And I also want to understand all those changes, you know, and what our people are doing. And I really, I really don't know what to say about, you know. I just feel sorry because the music is changing because it changes, is the dancing has changed as well. And is nothing bad about that, you know, because lives change, and because you have different heads, you
Yeah.
have different way of thinking, you know,
Mhm.
um, things will change. But I just feel a bit sad that people are not caring much about hold Zouk, you know, hold the characteristics and make Zouk still look like Zouk, you know. It's more like any kind of modern contemporary dance. But it's of my way of seeing. I cannot say that. I cannot say this is true or is the right
Yeah.
say thing.
It's your opinion. It's your
It's just
opinion.
my way of thinking, yeah, my opinion about it, you know. I just feel sorry that the Zouk is getting lost. Is
Yeah.
the feeling I have, and I feel sorry when I see this happening, you know.
Okay, so Nymph, we have a lot of questions from the audience that they wanted to ask Claudio. Why don't we go with questions
I
from
think
our
I think
friends?
I think a couple of the questions are already covered. There are a couple of left. I don't know if Claudio knows Remy, Eric Fair from Switzerland. Carlos is also like not. Carlos is also new in the Zouk scene, but they had some questions. I don't know if you know David Kai and Xena. They had some questions about like when, like what's the breakthrough of the Zouk exceptions within the wide range of other dances community that exist, like other dances. So what was the breakthrough? Like how many students do you have to let the Zouk grow?
Well, like I said, I had at this time a very big salsa school in Holland.
Hmm.
I had a school myself in Den Haag. I had a school in Amsterdam. I had a school also. No, in Utrecht was not my dance school, but I was teaching there. But in Den Haag was the place and the school, studios, everything in Amsterdam as well. But also used to teach in Utrecht, you know.
Hmm.
And then I really had maybe at this time around 500 or 600 students. I think I had the biggest school, salsa dance school in Holland this time. And
Yeah.
then what I did is I was so inspired, so in love
Hmm.
with the Zouk I saw in Brazil that I start selling this to the students. And and a lot of them, because saw me so passionate about, want
Hmm.
to try. And because I also had a dance team at this time, I made I think 2 choreographies of Zouk. And all those places where he used to perform salsa and some other dance because he used to dance salsa, axé, samba, and other dance as well. But salsa was the big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also include in those performances around Holland
Hmm.
also the Zouk performances and
Yep.
try to inspire people then. So in good level because they were beginners, you know, I I had maybe 12 dancers, you know.
Wow.
But those 12 dancers, very in love, we we hold, we embrace the Zouk, and we start to convince everyone that Zouk was the thing.
Yeah, and if you look like you are bringing like a new concept, like Zouk Love's a new concept to the markets. What did you test something before? Like, hey, do you think people like this or people doesn't like it? Did you had some ideas before you bring a new idea, new concept to the market?
No, I was just very in love.
That's okay. That's all.
I
You know
didn't
that.
plan anything, you know. I just want to show people this because I love very much.
Yeah.
So,
And and I think this passion was the best thing, better than any old strategy or plan. I
Hmm.
think the passion was the thing, you know.
Yeah.
And people start. I remember that even my my students, very loyal to me, they were the owners of the big house school in Holland.
Hmm.
But even they went to me to show the Zouk because they're, man, we don't know this stuff. We cannot control this stuff. I don't want this guy here, you know. But because they used to be my students and they respect me, they gave me space. They let me uh, dance in their events and their parties. And
Yeah.
I remember that we used to go to with CD, you know, Zouk CD to have it play on to song.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Was fun, was most difficult time, you know, that was nice.
So you think it's the passion that you have for the Zouk, and that you can express it to the people that brings the most, that attracts most people, because when you see the people like the teachers now, they still love Zouk, um, but somehow they are missing something. Is this like your Brazilian culture, or like women likes Brazilian men, so they you are Brazilian teacher, so that you attract a lot of nice women, and those nice women attract also more men.
Well, it's a combination of the whole thing, you know.
Uh,
but but I remember also when I came to Goiânia, was no Zouk here, not at all. And I used to go to Brasilia to dance Zouk because there the Zouk scene was a big. We had a small Zouk scene, but we had. I used to go there, and in Goiânia nobody used to dance. So what I did the same as I did in Holland, you know. I made a small group of very young people, very in love, you know. They want to do, they want to do everywhere, you know, because here they were the schools. We used to go to the squares. I put my car with this music, you know, the
Yeah.
music loud, and we start dance, you know, to make people and give flyers. And we
Uh-huh.
used to go to the discos here, the place to dance, you know. We used to go to CD, the same thing I did in Holland, you know. But when the people saw us even so much passion, they fell in love, man. There's no way. And they all was done with so much passion, you know. But just like little Claudius, you know. And they fell in love because the society, man, is so stressful. People live in such stressful life, and people they don't want to compete, you know.
Hmm.
They want to see love, feeling, passion, and this is what makes people want something because we miss this in society. It's not only in Holland, huh? Here in Brazil, it's the same. You know, if you go, people are fighting the cars, you know, shouting with each other. They have to fight at work. They have to fight on the street. They have to fight everywhere they go. And when they come to the dance, they want to feel love, you know. They want to feel passion. They want to.
The Brazilian
That's what
passion.
they want. They don't want to. No, they don't want to compete, you know. I
Yeah.
make a bigger movie than you. Oh, I make this more than you. No, they want to hold and dance and relax, and you know, that's what they
They can,
want, you know.
but they can also dance like the French Zouk or Kizomba. That's what
That's
happened
why
now in.
Kizomba, that's why Kizomba is growing more than Zouk,
Yeah.
because the Kizomba those days have more passion, you know. They hold the girl, and this you can say anything about the Zouk music, but it's beautiful music. It still goes to my through my ears and goes straight to my heart, you know. And the music is so beautiful. And they take this beautiful kizomba music that's the same as Zouk, and they hold the woman, they make all those sexy movements, and people, man, kizomba is getting big, man. This kizomba is getting big, and Zouk is getting small because it's losing most important
Yeah.
passion, the love, man. And this I don't give up, huh? My students, my first class, they never have done before. They start learning already about the music.
Nice.
First class, they learn about listen to the music. And if you saw my, I was so proud. I gave it first time in my life. I gave graduation to small students, you know, like art martial. You give them a yellow, green, red, you know. I had a small group with me
Uh,
and said, man, this is so nice. I'm gonna give them graduation. And the whole mix, you know, they had to dance together. And I was so proud, man. They were dancing the music. It's like a choreography, but it's not. Everyone were doing their own story on the music. It looks
mhm.
beautiful. And this makes me so proud the work I do it, you know.
Mm.
Wherever I go, my people dance with feeling, they dance on the music and make you so happy. And in the other way around, few years ago, I was in the big party and basically almost everybody there was students from me, and I was so damn disappointed. They knew I think more than 45 big movements, but no one of them on the music. I felt like shit teacher, you know,
Right.
stupid and bad teacher. Then I start find and look for music IT techniques, you know, and I'm very proud that I developed myself a very beautiful technique. Then when I see my students dancing to those days, or not those days, but since 2004, you know, when I already had these techniques coming up, I feel very proud. But those days I even feel more proud because I never give up
Ew. Again.
Yeah. That's big.
of dancing through the music, you know. I talk too much. I got so inspired just to talk about the females fight, you know.
Yeah, because people are talking about making Zouk like simplicity. Do you think it will help to keep the Zouk like growing again?
Well, the thing I think is When I see those performances at the congresses, those performances scare people. They surely, surely, 100% sure, they don't attract people because someone to dance like that has to start in very small age doing ballet,
Hmm.
jazz, modern dance, and all kind of things because uh, your dance is what your body can. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I you can dance what you can, your body can dance. You know,
Hmm.
and I have to adjust my dance to people's body. And to make it simple, make it also, especially with very much passion, I think Zouk's gonna grow more, gonna save Zouk's life. Because what I see now, is gonna have a small group of people going to this congress, the same small group of people going to that congress, and and I don't know how these people find so much money to go to so many congress, man. Because they go every congresses, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody knows each
Actually,
other so well.
actually,
Everybody knows
we
each other
almost
so
know
well.
everybody, right? We almost know
Yeah,
everybody in the
Yeah,
congresses.
yeah.
exactly. And then they foolish themselves. Then Congress is full, but it's full of the same people, you know. And if you
Yeah.
see the dance school, I'm sure on those places they're not full. And those dance teachers, most of them don't even have a dance school because they don't have time. They have flying for one congress to the other one. Why I stopped to go to congresses? Because I think this is nothing for me anymore. You know, I lose the whole beautiful concept of Zouk. I lose. It's too commercial.
Hmm.
People only want to sell in movements, and I don't want to sell in movements. I want to sell feelings. I want to sell to show people passion, and I felt like I don't belong to this thing anymore. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I see that those teachers, most of them, don't have a school.
Yeah, what I feel like people like teachers are selling nowadays like more techniques and combinations and those kind of thing. So, but your thing is selling this passion, feeling, selling this feeling for the majority of the people because there are no professional dancers. They are just normal people, so they have to you have to give them something special, like this passion, like this feeling, like this emotion, right?
Yes, uh, the passion is impossible to get the passion. You feel the passion. You
Hmm.
see, you hear, you feel the passion. You're in love.
Hmm.
But you cannot make someone dancing with passion without techniques. You know, with the techniques, you can make them able to touch the passion when they grow up with it. So how can I do this nicely? Because one thing what I miss in the dancing, the dance has to feel good. I have a nice word in Portuguese. In the first class, I say, a dança tem que ser gostosa. Has
That's the key.
has to
That's the
feel
key. That you have to talk in Portuguese to the students, so they will go to you.
Yes.
Right? Oh, we lost again, Claudio.
It's nice that you like he's standing like this, like
Oh, we're losing him. He's not coming back. But anyway, we're running out of time, Nymph.
hmm.
We went like 10 minutes
Far.
past our half an
Yeah,
hour timing.
yeah.
Let's see if he comes back. But I think that's a good conclusion. You know, like the success of Claudio, I think it's evident
Hmm.
on the image that we have now.
Yeah,
Like it comes from passion and a
yeah,
proper technique, like a basic, not so big technique, but a basic proper technique. But then a lot of passion, right?
yeah. A lot of passion, this feeling, this musicality. Because if even if you make this movement simple, it doesn't give you anything. It's just like it's just a movement. But if you give this movement this passion, this feeling, I think that's the key point. What Claudio discovered.
Yeah. So I think that we can say goodbye to Claudio because he's he's not coming back for what it looks. And we should say goodbye ourselves today because we're going for 40 minutes right now. Mm-hmm. Just one quick note for everybody. We just set up a small support page. So if you want to support us to do a better ZoukCast, you can give your little donation to us so we can buy better equipment and better connections. And actually, it was an idea not from ourselves, but from one of the guys on the audience that he was willing to help us to buy new microphones. So if you want to support us, here you have the address here under my name, and you can make a small donation. Like it can be $1 every month, whatever you want.
I think Claudio is.
We have Claudio back. Claudio, we lost you for a moment.
Yeah. Oh yes, I think I was so inspired. Like that was.
Okay, Claudio, we were saying goodbye because usually we go for half an hour and we will for 40 minutes. And we want to say you thank you because we can see why you were so successful. It's all from your passion and from your dedication.
Well, thanks for the invitation. Thanks to be in your program. And it was nice to talk to you two guys. And if you need me another time, I'm here. Success for you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for all of you.
Hey, thank you. You too.
Okay. So, Claudio, thank you very much for being here. Bye, and see you sometime later. And Nymph, thank you too for being here, and see you. I don't know if we will have another ZoukCast episode next week because we are pending confirmation from one guest. Mm-hmm. But if we do, we'll see you next week.
Next week, yeah. Otherwise
next year, because we will take some days on holiday, right?
All right, cool. Yeah.
So that's all for today, and we hope you enjoyed a lot. And Claudio is a really important figure in the development of Zouk in Europe, and you can see why after this episode if you didn't know him. And that's all for today. See you next week or maybe next year. Bye.
Bye-bye.